What's up, YouTube? Here we are loading trucks out today. I don't know what I'm doing, but you can tell me if I'm doing it right or wrong. So here's my logic. Got a beautiful old Cat 313 excavator. It's a beast. Things I like about it, things I don't. Had a weird issue with it this morning. But here's what I'm doing. So this is a giant spoils powder shop here, as you can see. By the way, if you want to learn how to load out trucks, I suggest you go check out Diesel and Iron's YouTube channel. Probably BuildWit has a training on it as well now. We might also someday. I'm trying to get AJ Brentzel to do that with me, but we'll see. I'm moving my soil while I'm in between trucks here to here at the corner so that I can scoop out of here fast and then make a shorter turn to dump. I got the time sitting here. I guess the hardcores, or maybe if people really know what they're doing, would say no, it's not worth it to double handle the material. But you know, I do know load trucks are running by the hour, so the faster we can load trucks, or you know, they're charging by the hour, right? So the faster we can load trucks, the better it is for everybody, right? Now I'm giving this soil away, and at this point though, I was desperate enough to rent the hoe to load it out fast if somebody had supplied the trucks for the dirt. So we got a local guy hauling out soil to a, I don't know, investment property, I don't know what it is. But regardless, you can tell I am no hoe hand here at all. Like, not very smooth, not very flowing. I don't get a lot of seat time, which is excuses, but it's a reality. I'm running a company. So, and we just don't run excavators that much, you know. So, but anyways, I'm piling all this soil up here to shorten my cycle time, or load time rather. Here's why it's important. This is one thing I learned from an excavation mentor of mine, why it's important to use your feet to move when you go to walk the machine or track the machine, is so you can run the you know, run your hoe or your stick and boom, which by the way, the outer part way out there is my stick, the piece I'm moving right now, the whole stick, and then you got, of course, your bucket. I'm also trying to make sure I'm getting this powdery stuff mixed in with some of the wetter stuff. We got really lucky. This stuff is really freaking dry, which is awesome because we're able to load trucks aggressively, let's say, and really be in great shape. Having this yard space is going to be wonderful too now, because the shop will be able to now make this a pass around. Here comes my big truck. We'll be able to make this a pass around here so guys aren't having to back in and out. So that's like wonderful. So yeah, so here we go. We'll load this rig out, wait on them to get backed up, and we'll be in awesome shape. So got the dozer sitting over there. Fortunately, it is warmed up and ready to go for when we get, I use the mini there, or the skid steer, to just tidy up that little area. Then when I get a little more room, get that dozer in here, we're gonna cut this whole area out here so that we can extend our parking area and all that. So yeah, so here we go. We'll load out trucks. We're gonna set up here. This driver, I like, he's backing right up to me, so he's perpendicular to me, which is super cool, because it allows me to not have to dump at a goofy angle. So that's really cool. I'm up way too high here, but when he gets where we want him, we're gonna beep him, and we're gonna be in great shape. So I'm gonna start loading from the back to the front. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. You can tell me. But the reason we're doing that is, again, what I learned from Diesel and Iron, is that instead of, I used to just load trucks helter-skelter, just throw crap everywhere, and then I learned you load it from one front to the back or back to front, depending on how you're sitting, and that way, and the truckers love it when you spill stuff all over their truck, by the way. They love that, so be sure to do that every chance you get. And I'm kidding, of course. Don't do that as best you can. But anyways, as you fill up, you can kind of watch, and it's easier to manage that your dump truck is full and you're not kind of jumping back and forth filling the thing up. So you know, kind of pick your whatever. If you can get big heaping buckets like this, that's great. You just got to watch, because as your trajectory changes, you know, you're going to spill. Ideally, you want to start dumping as soon as you're over the truck box there. But unfortunately, my skill set here in the morning is where we're at. So, but you can see my short swing here for loading this truck out is allowing us to load faster, right? And so instead of swinging clear over to the right, over by the fence, now I'm already scooping. So using that downtime, I believe, is good. So there's a good scoop. How much of it will I lose? Because I'm such a rookie. And the reason I say that kind of stuff is just to kind of chill the comment section a little bit there. So if you call yourself out a little bit, save yourself some grief in the comment section. So see how I chunked in hard there? You know, but you know, this soil being so dry is so nice for loading the trucks out, because we're, like I said, able to get a lot more cubic yardage on a truck than if this stuff was mud. So this worked out unusually well. This is very fortunate. But also in this spoils pile, we kept it crowned and and packed down. So when it did rain, the water would run right off of it instead of just being a bit. If it was just a big loose pile of soil, see, I could be dumping that faster as I come over the edge. But here we are, folks. The only thing that makes you better at this is more seat time. Unfortunately, I don't know when the next time I'll have, you know, seat time loading out trucks is, but we make do. So so see, I start dumping, but you can see as I'm filling up front to back, or at least, you know, just methodically like that, I'm not fighting and trying to figure out what's, you know, oh, I'm a little thin here, I'm a little thin there, or whatever. So again, big shout out to Diesel and Iron Page, because that's it. And maybe that just comes naturally to folks like, well, yeah, of course you should do that. But I mean, I put a scoop in the front and a bucket in the back and just all over the place. But this way, and especially too, if you're loading and you can't see, you know, I'm perched up really high. It's really nice. I can see. But yeah, so you can kind of see where you're at if you're not perched as high, and especially if you're loading to the side, like, you know, that is also a whole nother challenge. And believe it or not, this is hard work. You wouldn't think that, right? And again, that's lost on the bulk of society. That, you know, sitting in a machine like this, it is a lot of work. It's a weird kind of hard work. You know, the machine's jostling around. There's stress of loading a truck, not hitting the truck, especially when you're not skilled like I am. And I'll see my friends at Brex Enterprises would say that is imposter syndrome. But AJ could see my operating and say, well, yeah, you're right, kid. This isn't imposter syndrome. So check out Brex Enterprises on Instagram. They're running a really cool company out there in Pittsburgh. So a lot of my friends out there, local roots out in Pittsburgh, PA. So we're going to give this guy a couple more scoops, and then we're going to chirp him away. It'll be great. So unfortunately, they're not running far today. They only have about a 10-minute away drop. So, and it's only because it takes them longer to get through town. So I think that's going to be it. I think we're going to push this forward a little bit for them. And this is the part you got to be careful, especially pushing forward in the box, because you could push a rock onto the hydraulic lift cylinder cage protection thing there and smash that, and that would be bad. Truck owner will not appreciate that. We're going to send him here. So there we go. He gone. So there you go. Tell me what I did wrong, what I'm doing wrong. So now that I got some free time, now see, ideally, if we're going to do this right, you know, there would be another truck stacked up waiting to go, right? Another thing too, by the way, folks, is let's tidy this up over here, is make sure, even moving a spoils pile, call 811. So say you know, your local dig protection service or whatever, utility locating company, because even just moving a spoils pile, you're like, yeah, no big deal, right? Like, we're just moving soil out of here. Well, guess what? Psych! There's a fiber optic line running right through here below grade, right through there. So, you know, you get in there too aggressive, and you rip out City of Lancaster's fiber optic line, because that line runs into the city of Lancaster, which is crazy. Lancaster, Ohio, here in beautiful Fairfield County. You want to make sure you don't undermine your tracks, by the way, like I'm about to. And but this is so exciting to have all this material out of here. I'm so pumped on this. And by the way, this is freaking enjoyable. This is cool. And this is another thing. If we were to do this at like a student career kind of day and let kids run these things all day, I think you get an idea that, like, man, operating is pretty fun. But by the way, if we really had our ducks in a row, which unfortunately we don't, you know, there would be a truck here now, and you know, we'd be waiting to, you know, we'd be loading up. There'd be no wait time whatsoever. But we got shorted a truck today, so I'm told. So, it is what it is. But like I said, tell me what I'm doing wrong, and you know, then we'll hopefully learn from that, right? So that's the idea. I might hop down into skid steer there, tidy some stuff up. Something I'm just amazed by is the reach. You know, that little 303 excavator we have, mini. It's so funny. Like, that thing runs out of reach fast, but these big excavators, they just, especially a 308, because it's a big excavator in a medium-sized package, and it's really funny because it just feels like the boom just goes and goes and goes. This one not so much as the 308. The 308 really feels like it's got great reach. I really like the Cat 308. By the way, the 313's it feels good too. Oh yeah, also something I need to do is, oh boy, knock my pad down here so I can, so I have a nice flat place to sit. So we're gonna pull up a little bit here and hopefully not collapse my bank there. We'll see. I'm gonna check that out real quick, make sure we're sitting pretty, as they say. So I'm gonna reach and knock his high center down. Spin this around. But what we're trying to do here is get a flat place to work off of. You want to watch you don't smash your own tracks. That would be bad, right? Okay, that's looking pretty good. Flatten that out a little bit more. You got a nice place to go off of there. But yeah, be sure to call, like we said, be sure to call 811, your local utility, public utility locators, because just even moving this spoils pile, you end up hitting a freaking fiber line, you know, and then what? Nobody's happy. And fiber, by the way, will put you out of business if you hit it without, you know, being as we did our due diligence and called that mark in. If we didn't, we would, and you know, if we didn't and we hit it, it wouldn't matter where it's at, it would be our fault. But since we marked it, if it's marked incorrectly and we hit it, you know, then it absolves us from, you know, some liability there. So we get our knuckle all full of dirt. But yeah, if we were running more trucks, man, we'd have burned through this pile in no time. I wasn't sure what the cycle time was going to be because I didn't get an answer on where the dirt was going. So I thought, well, that'll help us know how many trucks we need. But that cycle time is important. So that's 10 minutes away. So, and that's, by the way, in a car per Google. So you figure, okay, dump truck a little slower. Let's say 15 minutes to get there. Let's give them at least 10 minutes to dump, depending on how much they got to back up and horse around with that. And then another 15 back. So really 15, 15, 30, we've got a 45 minute cycle time, right? And that's how you're gonna, you know, bid or estimate, you know, what it's gonna take to export material or import for that matter, depending on how. Plus, by the way, your load time. So these are all the things you gotta take into consideration when, by the way, down there, in case you can't see, those are called your final drives, and you don't wanna dig over top of those. any more than you have to. Like, it's big bad no-no to dig over your final drives. So when I get into a new perch spot like this, and then I will kind of nestle myself in here. I will kind of track right, track left, track right, track left, and kind of nestle myself in here so that we're, you know, so we're feeling real good, real fine. Oh, when it's dry like that, it's nice to move. Holy underwear. Now, if I would have had an operator for today, it would have made more sense for me to hire an operator to move this dirt for the day. You know, rent the machine, hire an operator, have one of my guys do it, whatever. Part of me, I just want to do it because I enjoy this. But the other part of it would be smarter if I did this and I was in the field, or I was in the office, you know what I mean? So, well, we're going to take the skid steer now and tidy up some of that down there, and then we're going to get the I don't know, get the you know, that thing. Pulled Joe Biden moment there, sorry. Get the skid steer, tidy that up some, and wait on the next truck. Miss Britt and the skid steer down there tidying up for me. Of course, I got a couple trucks stack up. We got one big one, a medium, and a little one. I say little, it's still 5-ton, 6-ton truck, but Miss Britt down there doing her thing. I think she's in high heels and a cheetah print shirt, the whole bit. She's pretty cool. This little truck's nice, you can see just every bit of it, but don't move as much soil that way either, so. Or material. It's not dirt. This orange truck, this is his project, so he said load them heavy. So I'm just gonna load them until he says stop, and that's what we've been doing. It's working out, so. So it looks like this truck, based off the last load, will take about 5 buckets. Also, too, it doesn't hurt to keep an eye on, even though it's not your responsibility, I don't really suppose, but it might not hurt to keep an eye, make sure their tailgates are latched. One of those tailgates last load wasn't latched, so caught it real early, thank goodness. But you also don't want to pile right against the tailgate necessarily. I like that truck. I'd like a truck about that size. I think it'd be handy. It's a 26K, so we're gonna hog right into our side here so we can see what the heck I'm doing. Miss Britt tidying up for me. Thank you. Compiling it up. Get that dumped before we lose too much of it. Here's probably gonna about do them. light scoop. So that's the problem with stacking up trucks. You got, it's rush, rush, rush. They get out of cycle like that, but that happens. Your family is expecting you home tonight. Don't take any chances. Landscaper died 4 days after being struck by lightning while mowing a lawn or trimming a tree in Florida. Man, that's wild. That's terrible. Workers injured in jump from burning bucket truck. Oh my! And I'm gonna tell you, folks, the tree business is dangerous. It is really. Again, another guy dies from a struck branch, getting hit by a truck, getting hit by a branch. Let's see here, an ATV accident, another lift accident. Tree trimmer was shocked. Folks, again, that is to drive home the point of, especially, I mean, if you dabble in trees, it is dangerous, folks.